You can pick up your gift certificates.
Nice. I hope you guys get all the flowers you want. My favorite flower to get on Valentine's, the cow roses.
The Yeah, I'm not a flowers person.
Dr. Hoa Nguyen in here. Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, just another Monday for the good doctor who's in at American Medical Center. Doc, I'm just trying to have a Super Bowl, trying to have a Valentine's, but this damn stealth Omicron variant, this Omicron surge, as if it couldn't get any worse, right? Now we get the news that it is going to get worse, Doc. So we'll just start there with the Omicron stealth variant. Just your takeaways.
Yeah, we have 10 specimens coming back from Hawaii, and when I look at it, it's 8 of them are BA.2 and then 2 are BA.1. And so, the BA.1 is supposed to be like 7 or 8 times more infectious than the Delta, and this one, BA.2, is more infectious than the BA.1. So it's just like we're spinning. It's just when it's going to end, we're not sure. The bad part about BA.2 is that it's so highly infectious that even though it know that you have a high incidence of breakthrough infection on the vaccinated people. So we expect to have more vaccinated people that will be get infected, and along with the unvaxxed. So that's a part where I think that's why our surge for Omicron is going to be last longer than we expected, just because the BA.2 is here. Now, I know that as of 2 days ago, we are not sure if the BA.2 have the ability to reinfect the BA.1 or not. No one know the answer yet. I think there's still more data collection out there, but we all hope it's not, right? But we have a lot of our people get infected by BA.1 already, but it's not good that we can get reinfected by the BA.2. So it'd be interesting to see. They call it a stealth variants. I think that so far the tests have been able to pick it up, but it's just so infectious that if you drop your mask for a few minutes and to do something, to eat or something, it will. You have a high chance of catching the BA.2. You don't need that 15 minutes anymore. So it's I don't know. That's the interesting part. But the good news is that the severity look like the same as the BA.1. It's not more severe. So, so most people will have a flu-like symptom with the BA.2, but because our pure number of positive in the community, we will expect that the hospitalization will go up, and there's a chance there's much more death coming in the next few weeks.
So, Doc, just to clarify for listeners who aren't aware, so the BA.1 is the original Omicron strain.
Yes.
All right, and so BA.2 is the subvariant, the mutated version of Omicron, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just want to make sure everybody knows. And that is more transmissible.
It's much more transmissible than BA.1. And again, it have a very high incidence of breakthrough infection. That means that doesn't matter you vax or not vax, it go right through to you.
Mm-hmm. And so, the samples were from January 25th. So do you think that the reason, it's been kind of high, the tests, new positive cases, do you think that's kind of what's behind, I guess, the spike, even though we've kind of had high numbers?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why, we, in the clinic-wise, we see a lot of, vaccinated patients are infected. So, that's why I think the number is going to stay high for probably, I keep extending the stuff for another 4 to 6 weeks at least, So I don't think we're going to expect the number to go down anytime soon.
Yeah, and again, just the numbers that we're seeing, these are just for the symptomatics, right? Because we're not testing the asymptomatic people.
Yeah, but the majority of people are symptomatic. I think that either it's a little mild symptom like cough or cold, headache, or you can have severe symptom. It's really a mixed bag of everything. And we see the healthiest people that have the worst symptom of them all. So it's really Russian roulette. You don't know if when you get it, you have severe symptom or not. But the majority are mild, yes.
Doc, but I mean, I know that at the beginning of this, the governor came out and said that it was going to be mild, right? But I mean, we've had, almost a death a day. We're averaging, I mean, we've had nearly 40 deaths during this surge just since January. The hospitalizations, you guys said, 50 is concerning. Well, we're there already. And here comes this news of the subvariant. So just give it to us, doctor's orders. Just how bad is it going to get from where we're at right now?
The majorities will get infected sooner or later before this thing's over. I would say more than 50, 60% of our population will get Omicron somehow before it ends. Just because the pure number of infection, and we have a very large population of people that have multiple comorbidity. So those people might get worse symptom and end up in the hospital. So the reason we have more death because we have so much more infection, right? I mean, for the last 5-6 weeks that we are into the surge, that's more than 50 or 60% of all infections in the pandemic start. So by that pure number of positive, yes, we have fewer deaths per number, but then because the number is so high, we're going to have more death than the Delta and everyone put together.
What do you make of these hospitalizations? 59. That just seems extremely high. 33 at GMH, 26 at GRMC.
Yeah, it's going to go higher, Sabrina, Chris, just because we have so much more positive out there. I think we just have the sotrovimab in this past weekend. So we looking forward to restart that process again. It will help the people and cut down the hospitalization on the high comorbidity patient. So I think today is we're going to restart the sotrovimab again, so the monoclonal antibody infusion.
And this one is really the one that's more effective to fight Omicron, right? Because we have the PEX, the other two.
We had the Regenco in the past infusion, and that proved that not effective against Omicron. So now we have sotrovimab is much more effective than Omicron. So that's they took away Regenco, they give sotrovimab now.
What about Paxlovid, the pills, Paxlovid and the M1?
Yeah, Paxlovid is something very unique. Is much more effective than the other oral antiviral, but it has a lot of side effects. Unfortunately, when you take the Paxlovid, there's a lot of medication that are contraindicated. So we're not using the Paxlovid very much. The molnupiravir is still very good oral. It's much more lenient regarding less side effects for people, but again, it cut down to about 50% of the hospitalization. So sotrovimab infusion is much better, about 80-85% or so. So we rather just do the infusion. You don't have to worry about look for side effect on the patient.
Well, Doc, I mean, since the beginning of this surge, you've called for restrictions on the gathering limits. And Physician Advisory Group and the governor, I mean, they haven't really done anything restriction-wise during this surge. It kind of seems like we've just been trying to just withstand it. So when we get this news that the Omicron subvariant is at play here in Guam, does that, to you, warrant any kind of change in the approach of how we respond to this surge? I still always think that some type of restriction should be out there, and the number of the gathering, it will help a whole lot and cut down and send a message out to people that we're still in the pandemic and we still need to be careful. Like what we see in the things like
like especially funeral and wedding. There's a funeral the past week or so that we see there's a lot of positive coming out of the funeral. And that's something that if we don't send a message or put some restriction, people tend to put their guard down a whole lot. I don't think that our people in Guam will be mad, upset if you put some restriction out there, number of gatherings. Just to remind people, right? But if we continue to go where we are, like I said, it's free fall, and it is what it is, and we're gonna hurt a whole lot more people. Mm-hmm. We gotta go with the normalcy, but I think normalcy means that you can't go more than 35 miles an hour a certain road, and you can't go more than 45 miles a certain road. That's the normalcy, right? It's just not that there's no speed limit on the road. Mm-hmm. So to me, we just have to remind people somewhat, that, hey, we're still in the pandemic, the Omicron's still out there. So if you cut the mid down to about 50, I don't think people would mind. I think that a lot of restaurants, a lot of business have taken their own action already for limited people to come in. And that's because people know that, hey, we need to have some control somewhat.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on Operation Homebound and the video that was released by the governor last Thursday, I believe, Thursday night?
Yeah, I think that's a very good operation. It's a way to reach out to the low income and the underserved population. They need to continue to do that. Way past Omicron. I think that that's something that we don't just need to do it just because Omicron or DOA. We should continue to do that all the time. Even when the surge over, we still need to do that because those are population that much needed for many reasons. They don't want to come to the clinic or to the hospital, but I think that should be around every day during the year and not just during the surge only.
And it kind of just reminds me of what happened at the beginning with Lyndon Pico de Norcy when they went up to Sag-and-Lanadzen and they were out there trying to test people. Do you remember that at the very beginning of this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems kind of almost the same deal, but now they're getting the referrals from OHAP as a result of the point in time count where they noticed, oh my goodness, there's so many people on Guam that are living in these substandard living conditions. Although they may live in a tarp and they feel that it's their home, really, according to the HUD guidelines and the definitions, they're counted in this pit count.
Yes. A lot of people, yes, they worry about going to a clinic or go to a hospital because they don't have any way to do that. There's no money, there's no insurance. I think that I don't know. That's something that we talked about in the pack before, and it's kind of nothing happened. Is that we need to go out there and really open the Medicaid, the MIP for people that lost their job, people in underserved territory. They have to have certain way that they have. They feel more comfortable access to the medical care, right? Yeah. I heard that the Medicaid office is really, really far behind in processing their paperwork, and even for outpatient, they cannot buy the medication because they don't have the fund to do it. It's something that we really need to make sure we put the manpower and make sure that people have access to medical care. And again, it's not during the surge to curb the DOA. It should be out there every day. We have to kind of step up and do that and make sure that people have access to care. And somehow as we go through this Omicron, and we're going to expect there's more variants coming, we need to somehow work on the healthy living somehow. Seriously, that message has to come out a whole lot because the comorbidity, that's the one that kind of get accelerated by the Omicron and put people 6 feet under, right? So we really have to somehow pass the message of healthy living there somewhere.
Yeah. One of the goals for 2022 for KUAM, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, seriously, we have a lot of parts around the island. I would put some light in those parts, make sure people are well lit so people can go exercise during the night and the early morning.
And fix the bathrooms too.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that is out there. I know the village mayor have some money coming in for them. I hope they can fix those parts and let people go out there and exercise. I mean, that's the only way that we can stay healthy and at least fight this Omicron if you get infected.
Doc, last question: Rams or Bengals?
I think the Ram. I don't know. If I have a chance to watch it, it looks like we have a line of people outside already, so it's gonna pick in and out to watch the football.
Are you a fan?
To watch the game,
yeah. Are you a fan of Snoop Dogg or Dr. Dre or Mary J. Blige?
Oh, I love all of them. So
can we get you to do the W West Side?
Yeah,
can we get you to say that?
The only time that I'm gonna take a break is during the halftime. I gotta take a break.
You gotta put on your Thug Life shades, Doc.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. But guys, make sure that people really do the 3W and get the booster. I tell you, the booster does work for Omicron. At least your symptom is not as severe. So I know we're about 40% boosted on the island. We need to have a lot more people boosted with the shot, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
And be safe and happy Valentine, guys.
Happy Valentine's.
Bye.
You're our medical sweetheart. We're going to take a quick break and come back and wrap up the show next right here on The Link. Good morning.
Join Nestor Lacanto for virtual in-depth discussions with the movers and shakers in our